On today's episode, what is Jesus talk? Who is Father Jim DeFroque? I mean, actual Father Jim. All that coming up on gonstFM Off Air. Welcome, ghouls, ghoulettes, and guesties to gonstFM Off Air, the official podcast companion to 66.6 gonstFM, the radio station dedicated to the band Ghost and the Gonst posting community, broadcasted live monthly on the Station Head app. I'm Richie, aka Papa X, aka Papa Me Emeritus, as so lovingly named by the Gonst posting community. It's Easter Sunday, and I have a treat for everybody listening today. As you know, it is the 1-year anniversary of the Jesus He Knows Me video from Ghost, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate this occasion. And so, ghouls, ghoulettes, and guesties, I present to you our guest today, Father Jim himself, Christian Rodrigo. How's it going, my friend?
Good, nice meeting you all, and thank you for having me in your amazing program.
Oh, thank you for joining and taking the time to do this. I was really excited to have you on. I know this is going to be a treat for everybody listening out there. We're all huge fans of yours, so... Before we get into your time doing the music video and stuff, how did you get into the industry? Because I know you've been in the industry for quite some time now.
Yeah, a long time. That means that I'm pretty old. So I've been always a fan of anything that has to do with explaining stories, right? Like when I was a kid, I loved to go to the theater, to the movies, while my friends maybe they prefer to do other type of stuff. So I always saw myself like doing theater or at least being in this industry. But then what happens is that sometimes you have a goal or you have a dream, but then trying to live that dream, it's quite hard. So I was in a theater company, pretty good theater company in Barcelona until I was 18 years old. And then I quit because I started the university. And I had to be more focused because I love to do so many things that I was a little bit overwhelmed. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
So the problem was that it stayed there always. And I was like, geez, I'm doing this, but my passion is on telling stories. I'm being on stage, I'm being on a set. And then I was following my friends at work on that theater company, and I was accompanying them to, I don't know, shows that they were doing or anything. So I was always there. So I was growing with that. And then I started like working in the business side, in the big corporation world. And I was like, there's something missing here. So I started to train and to take best classes with the best acting coaches I could find from all over the world. And then I said, you know what? Since I'm making good money in the business side, I can pay a good training, and I can even like develop my own stories and do my own things, so I don't have to depend on anyone. But then humans, we always want more and more.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you know what? If I really want to try to make it, I need to leave Barcelona, which is where I'm from, and I need to go to somewhere new that I've never been, so that the only option that I have is just try to achieve my acting career. And that's what I did. I came to LA 14 years ago nearly. And since then, my main focus has been this. Although I had to be doing like different things because living as an actor role, it's hard. But my mind and my set and my, I would say my time investment, it's been always in the industry, which makes me much more happy, as you can imagine.
Right. And you've had quite a lot. I was looking at some of your film credits, and you've had quite a lot of short films, which I think is a lost art these days. I think short films, they pack a punch. You know, you're able to tell the meat and potatoes of a story in such a short amount of time, and there's not a lot of downtime and not a lot of drag, you know? So I think it's interesting that a majority of what I've seen you work on are short films. And the humor in what most of our listeners know you as is that, like, while searching through, I remembered seeing your name for the movie Satanic Hispanics, which I thought was amazing, by the way. And I noticed that you played Jesus in Making 30 and a priest in While You Pray in 2014 for Making 30 and then 2018 for While You Pray, which again, the irony there is that like going on to take the Father Jim role, that's not lost upon me. I thought that was kind of humorous in a way. When you took the role in the Jesus He Knows Me video, was it something that you were aware of as far as the band is concerned, or did you get like a cold call? Did you have a casting agent reach out to you? Like, how did you get that role?
Okay, so the way it worked was that, and yes, as you've said, I've done other priest roles.
Yeah.
Not only 2, but 5 already.
Yeah.
Jesus in Open was my 6th, and then I also, it's funny because I have 2 more characters of 2 feature films that hopefully they will be made at the end of this year or next year, and that I'm also priest. So yeah, I think that my look or whatever brings me there. So and it was so funny because well, you see that it's a special priest, this one.
Yes.
Unique. And I had this friend that he was the one that the company or the producers and the agent of the director reach out to, and then he was supposed to do this music video, but then he was having another shot the same day. So he called me and he said, like, Christian, I have this music video. I don't know if you do music videos, but if you do, it's a very cool one. The director is amazing. It's a pretty strong band. It's a little bit strong, the music video.
Yeah.
But I think that you will have so much fun. So when I read it, I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And then I started like talking with the director. I started like sending him my work and everything like that. And
Right.
He was like, oh, if you're in, would love to have you. So I wasn't really aware of how huge was Ghost, if I have to be honest. I know that there was like, it was a nice band, but I wasn't aware that it was so huge.
Right.
And it blew my mind when suddenly it came out in Easter last year, and like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people reaching out to me and messages. And I was like, oh, and the director, he told me that, like, Christian, be careful because you're going to see that the fans will reach out to you. And I said, no, I don't think that anybody is really, how would they even know who I am? You know, like, so I don't think they will. And no, yeah, he was right. He was really right. But it was a wonderful experience. And when I was shooting, they told me, oh, the creative director is going to be here, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking with that creative director, thinking that he was the mind putting the music video concept,
Right.
But he was Tobias. But I wasn't aware of that. So I was talking the whole time as if he was a member of the crew. So and I was asking, like, oh, so how's the band? They told me that it's a nice band. And he was like, yeah, I mean, the band is doing pretty well. So he was never including himself in the answers. He was like talking in the band. And then suddenly he left, like, I would say like 1 hour before we were finishing the shooting. He came to me, he hugged me, he told me, like, oh man, we're super happy with you. You did an amazing job. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And then the director came to me and he was like, Christian. And I said, yes. Oh, Tobias came to me and he's so in love with your work. He said that you've been amazing, that you're incredible. Your attitude, whatever you've done, I mean, you're incredible. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, glad to hear it. And he was like, yeah, because he being the lead of the band. And I was like, what? Yeah, he's the singer. And I said, what? And I was like, oh, I've been treating him like as if he was like a manager, a creator, and it was a little bit. So he was like, yeah, it's very hard for him to like really make compliments to the actors that we work in the past. He's very strong. I mean, because he knows what he wants. But with you from the first time, he's super excited. And it's interesting because at the beginning, the way that they were seeing my character was more like a chubby guy, like a funny guy, like more like a stereotype.
Yeah, because the character is portrayed as like a typical Southern Baptist priest.
Yeah, exactly. And they wanted to that. And then I said, oh, but, I think it's going to be much more strong if you just try to have someone that is a like a real priest, that you think that he's a real priest, and suddenly he goes through that. Because if you go to the humor, it's fine, but maybe find the humor within the real, like thinking that it's true, it's going to be more impactful. Like I was like, yeah, I totally think that I agree with you, blah, blah, blah. So it was amazing. And I never thought that I was doing something big, or I don't even know. And then also the people that were there doing like the background, some of them, they were people working for the music company. They were super nice. They were super entertaining. And I was making fun. And like, they were like, it was, I think, one of my, I would say, most favorite shots ever, because what they created there, the nice environment, the nice people that were there, all the other actors, all the everyone. I mean, it was so beautiful, and I was never expecting that, because when I read the script, I was like, oh, this is going to be something that maybe I don't enjoy that much, or yes, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and you can tell it translates very much that you were having a good time, and I think that's what's important too. And all of us notice that. You can tell when an actor is having a blast on set during a role, and even though it was such a short, like the video is like less than 5 minutes, it was very good, and I can see why Tobias was pleased with it. And it's funny. That's hilarious that like he really didn't like let on the whole time you were talking to him, and that sounds about right. Like that tracks with him, actually. Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, I had also lunch. I mean, there were like different tables for lunch, and I don't know, by fate, I ended up like eating in front of him. So we were talking the whole time, and the whole time I got like talking as it was like the Grammys, and they were nominated, and I was like, oh, so you've come with the band for the awards? And he was like, yeah. So again, he was telling me like if he was just being there with, as a companion person, and not as a
right. He definitely seems like the type of person that just he'll make you feel at home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
so
amazing.
Very warm, and and that's great, because I know it was it Alex Ross Perry was the director of the video?
Yes. Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, what a human being. What a human being.
Yeah, he's done some amazing work, and it was cool to see him get such a profile, because I consider that like a really high profile music video.
And that's one of the reasons I decided to do it. First, because I saw the other music videos from Ghost, and I said, wow, they're super good. I mean, they're doing this type of videos. Probably this one's going to be also a good one. And then I saw Alex Ross work, and I was like, oh, so this cannot go wrong. And then when they sent me the music, because I was requesting for the music, I was like, oh, I love this song. So, I mean, there's so many things that are telling me that this is going to be an amazing thing,
right,
that I can't say no. Although I was a little bit like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, because I have a son. Now I have 2 sons. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to do this and they ever go through YouTube and they see that, it's like, my mother, she's in Spain, and she was like, oh, but I don't understand the music video. Why at the end everyone is throwing you water? And I was like, no, I think it's a comedy thing. So they're just, it was like,
yeah.
so that was one of the main things. Like my parents and my sons, my wife, she's fine with that. So, but the rest of the people, I was, and my friends, they were like, oh wow, but not these parents and children. I think that are the most dangerous audience for anything that it's a little bit out of the normal range.
Yeah, that's funny. I was actually gonna ask. I'm glad you said that. I was actually gonna ask if you had any like kind of reservations about accepting the role, just because of like what it was entailing and everything. Because Ghost is very much like, listening to their music, like they don't carry an explicit tag on much of their stuff. But then when you get into like the visual aspect of it, it's like, oh, you see what the kind of the theatrics of what they're doing, and it's like, oh,
yeah. There were like. There were like a couple of things in the music video, in the script, that I was like, one is the final scene, and I was like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Because I don't want that, like it comes here and it's like a porn video. I mean, if we go, let's go to the extreme and let's make it like huge.
Right.
If we do that, then I'm fat. But if we go just a little bit and it comes here in my lips, I won't feel comfortable. Okay.
Right.
But if it's like, okay, let's go, let's make it big, then I'm good. Then I was having so much fun. It was super fun to shoot that. And then The other one, there were like a couple of scenes that they had him like kissing with other men and doing certain things that he was being, and I was like, well, if we can avoid certain things, then it's good, because I think that I've putting a lot of things in, and just for my sons right now, because at the end of the day, it was a music video for me. I mean, if it's a movie with Almodovar or with like, I'll do whatever it is.
Right.
But for a music video, I was like, oh, I think that it's already too much. So it's gonna be like, and it was fun, and we also didn't have the time to shoot certain things. So Alex was like, oh, you see, at least we let certain scenes that you were not that happy for the end.
Right.
But they told me, but this is a deal breaker if you cannot do the last scene. And I was like, why is so important? And then I see the reason, because it's effective and
Right.
it's powerful. But I was like, yeah, they told me, if you can do that, then we can think of other things, how to approach it. And then we have also someone on the set. She was amazing just for everything that has to do with sexual content, and it was so beautiful, the environment, and how everybody was super open and super nice and super respectful. We were having so much fun. It's like, oh, it's like, and I've never done really like any, I would say, any character like this, like that extreme. And I thought I won't be able to do it right, because I'm not a party person. So it's like, okay, how am I gonna do this if I've never really experienced all that? But I was like, oh, you know what? It's good. It's I have to stretch my options as an actor, and this is going to be a challenge for me, and that's why I took it as a challenge more than any other thing.
That's kind of the thing I got too, was like seeing, going through your, filmography, and then seeing this, because I watched it last year when it premiered, and I loved the video and everything. And then when I was, digging more into like what you've done, I was like, oh, this had to be completely out of left field, something completely, different in a way, as far as the script treatment, the content therein. But you did immaculately. Like I'm speaking on behalf of like everybody that listens to this program and loves this band. Like, we adore the work. We think it's amazing. There's internet memes all over the place of it. There's like fan pages everywhere of it. Like it's a character that has just kind of become a thing, and like it's taken on a life of its own, really. Yeah. And I know for anybody out there listening, like we do know that you, Christian, are like the physical portrayal of Father Jim. We know that like the Jesus Talk thing was a completely different voice actor.
That was something that they wanted to do later, and I said, oh, that's super cool. It works. It makes more content around something, and it's. I think that it worked very well. So I was like, maybe I would have loved maybe to be asked, oh, would you like to do that, and maybe work on your accent and maybe that. But I understood that it had to be like more a US person with that thick Southern accent that I cannot really do that well. So I get it.
Yeah, it's got that real Tennessee, like South, like maybe Alabama-esque kind of like accent. So yeah, I get that.
I get it. It's hard for someone that is from Europe, from Barcelona, from Spain. Every time that I had to act in another language, it's always harder, because it's hard to connect with your emotions, with your inner side, right? So, but at the beginning, all the things that we were saying at the when it opens the music video, everything was improvisation for me.
Oh wow, and cool!
He was like, "Oh, let's pretend that you." I said, "Oh, okay, but can I talk? And can I?" And then they just dub it. So it was super fun, and that's why all the background that was sitting there in the church scene, they were having such a great moment, because I was entertaining them and making fun and this. And so every time that I was talking to them, I was doing that for real as an improv thing. So and I was happy that they kept it, because I thought that they were just gonna have like, the opening scene, like him talking and then going directly to him taking the money. But no, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's I was surprised, because it wasn't in the script, so it was very nice.
It's always a good thing whenever they leave room for improvisation. I think improv, especially in a comedic setting, I mean, mostly in, comedic settings, are great, because you might have an idea that maybe the scriptwriter didn't have, or you might be able to play off of another actor on set that plays off of you well, that maybe wouldn't work anywhere else, So the fact that they left that open is very, very telling to the creative process behind the big machine itself,
Yeah.
So
No, it was amazing. And Alex, the director, again, what a journey with him. I mean, it was so amazing, so nice. He kept like sending me emails and text messages like, Christian, everybody's super happy with you. You'll see the result. We love you. I mean, we never expected it was going to be that good. I mean, you're usually, when you're doing something, you're like, okay, let's see if I can bring my vision. And he was like, no, you went on over my vision. So it was, and I said, oh, wow, thank you. And the same thing with Tobias. He was like, so nice. And even sometimes as an actor, you have to make choices, right? Okay, this is happening. What's your choice? Your choice is maybe a scream. Your choice is drinking. What is it? Your choice. No? So again, do whatever you want. All is good. And maybe once every 2 or 3 hours, Tobias or Alex, and they told me, oh, what if we try him taking this into his hand and doing this? Like, it's just for fun, but everything was like, do whatever you want, and that was, but it's true that anytime that they gave me an idea to do something different, they were all great ideas, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a great choice for, like, oh, thank you, yeah, because when you're there, like, you're just trying to do whatever you think that it works, but you don't see yourself. So it's great to have someone that can also bring you great ideas,
right,
instead of just adding things that they don't really add to your work, But every time that they did something, it was adding and adding and adding. So it was amazing. I had like a blast that day. It was, and I was calling my friend Luis, who was the original person that was supposed to do the character. And I was like, oh, Luis, you should try to come to the set, because it's being such an amazing day. But he was shooting, and he was like, oh, let's see if I can make it on time. But he was not. But then when he saw the video, he came to me and he was like, wow, Christian. I said, what? And he was like, thank God you did this music video. He was like, I don't think I would have been that good. And I said, no, come on, what are you talking about? I mean, you're an amazing actor too. No, he was like, no, I don't know if I would have like been able to really portray this character the way you did. And I said, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone put their choices and their heart, and if the actor is good and the director knows what they want, then it's easy to get like good things. So that's what happens.
You just had an amazing team, around you, like you, Alex, Tobias, the crew that worked on it, which the cast and the rest of the cast and the crew, I think
Incredible.
I was going to say, a lot of times in the industry, like people that are watching, the bigger stuff, they don't necessarily completely forget, but I feel like a lot of those people are often not noticed as much. And it takes, it takes an entire team to do it. And you guys just had an amazing team behind you the whole time.
Yeah, I just had like goosebumps, really, when you were talking about that, because they were such a nice team of people and artists, and it was so wonderful to work with them, with every single one individually and as a group. They were always there just do something together as a group, as a team. And one of the problems that you see a lot of times on film or theater is the egos, right? So a lot of people have their ego, but no, they work as an ensemble. Yeah, I have like more moments just by myself, but everything was done as an ensemble. And that's why I think it was so powerful. They were ready to do anything, even if their faces weren't seeing, even if they were not being portrayed the way they wanted, but they're so easy to work with. Nobody had any complaint. Nobody had any problem with doing anything. They were super respectful, everything. It was wonderful. But also because of the team, that the crew made everything like very, very easygoing and very nice.
I'm not sure, because there hasn't been a lot of details released about it just yet, but I know Ghost they just finished wrapping a feature length or a film project that they're doing, hopefully for release sometime. Were you asked to be a part of that in any capacity?
No, it was a little bit weird, because when we finished the shot that day, they were like, oh, we loved you. Are you going to be here in the next months? Because probably we will be doing some other shots with you, and would love to have you more times. So I said, oh, yeah, I mean, an actor, life changes like that.
Sure.
But so far, I'm planning on being here in LA. They were like, oh, okay, good, because we'll probably need you to do other things. But since then, nobody else. Really, the only person that I was in contact with was the producers, Alex, the director. After that, like for some months, and that's, and I think that's somebody else from the crew also, because they were asking me if I knew certain people for something that they were shooting, but that's all. And so who knows? Maybe something is going to happen more in the future or not, but it's good. It's good. I mean, I was super happy with what I did and that experience. And
I'm thinking maybe because, like I said, there hasn't been a lot of details released about it just yet. But like you said, you never know. Maybe they need a pickup shot, or maybe they haven't gotten to that area of the release yet, and we don't even know, as as listeners and as fans, what that entails as far as how it's getting released, what platform it's going to be on, what the format's going to be. So it's a wait and see game. Tobias is very to the chest with a lot of what he does, which is smart, but I would like to think that the Father Jim DeFroque character would come back around at some point.
I think that I'm the only like character that is really like more natural, right? The rest are more like with some makeup and some costumes, and so maybe they want to keep that. And I don't know, but if they ask me, I'll be more than happy, because it was wonderful to work with them. So,
are you a fan of the band now? Like, have you kind of dived into their music? Or?
I mean, when I was watching some of their material, I was like, oh wow, they're super good. And then when they sent me the song, I couldn't take it out of my head. I was like, this is so good. I mean, I knew the original one from Genesis, but I was like, oh my gosh, this one is like amazing. So I loved it, and I'd love to know more about them. I haven't really gone through their whole, let's say, life in terms of all the songs that they've done, but every time that I'm hearing something from them, I'm just loving them, and they're super good, and I love their performances, what they do on stage and a concert. It's like, oh my gosh, they're super smart. They're just like super smart.
Yeah, I'm a choir nerd. Like I was in choir and I play music and stuff. So, and I know, like, you obviously being in film and stuff like that, it speaks. I think their performances and that band itself, it speaks to all of us, theater geeks, if you will. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh my, you have to have a such an incredible mind to put this together, and to think about, oh, I'm going to create this world around the band, and it's just amazing what they do and what they've been doing. So I'm happy for them. So happy.
You you were telling me, like, because we've been conversing for the last couple of weeks, and you were telling me that you teach acting classes and stuff. You have your own acting school that you teach, or?
Yeah. So I've been I had like my small little acting studio in Los Angeles, where I love to teach any type of actor, like from people that they've never acted before to people that they are professionals. And I also do a lot of personal coaching to them. I love that. I think that any actor, the problem is that you get too much into you. The moment that you are putting all your energy in somebody else, then you are just learning other things, because it's like, okay, this is what it works. So I've seen that I've grown as an actor by teaching. And I also teach teenagers on Saturdays morning. And then I'm a member of the Actors Studio, which I go there and I do certain things too. And when I've been traveling, and I've been like, maybe I was shooting a movie in Paraguay, in Asunción. So when I was there, I was like, oh, let's create a 3 weeks course, like intensive, with people from here, and then the same with people from Mexico, and then with people from Spain. So it's wonderful when you get to travel, because you're working, and then you take some more time to do something local. It's just so amazing, and I love teaching. I love helping others grow, because I think that there are a lot of acting coaches or teachers that they know a lot about the craft, but they don't know how to make a comfortable space for the student to really jump. It's like what I was saying with Alex Ross. It's like, you're there, you don't feel that, oh, he's gonna judge me, he's gonna no, the opposite. I know that he's gonna be there always with this smile, just encouraging me, try this, try that, but in a good way. And this is one of the most important things as an acting coach, like to put the everything that it's needed, so that person feels comfortable and ready to jump and do whatever it's requested to do. So I love that a lot. And also, I run a theater festival, a short plays theater festival here in Los Angeles. I'm going to go also in November to Buenos Aires. And every year I have like around 250 artists that they participate. So
wow.
it's something beautiful also to help them and to make their lives better, at least for those days that they're in the festival. So I love helping people. It's just wonderful. And I feel very fortunate when I have the chance. And every time that someone is calling me like, oh, I'm starting this new movie, can you coach me? And it's like, oh, yes, thank you. Because it's just wonderful. So, yeah, that's me.
It absolutely shows that you enjoy what you do. And honestly, I wish there were more people like you in the world, dude. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very
Thank
welcome.
you.
One last question before we go. We always try to end it on a fun note, which always it's been a fun time this whole time. But like we always try to
serious.
Yeah.
Not that deep.
What's your favorite snack?
Favorite snack? Wow. It can be salty or sweety. There are like two options. So salty would be more avocado toast or anything like that with some seeds on top of that. That's something that I like. I love fruit, and I love to make my own shakes with a lot of fruit and almond milk. So something that really refreshes me and it makes me feel that I'm doing something great. So I would say like on the salty side, the avocado toast, and the other and the sweetie one would be more like a nice fruit shake.
Yeah, I'm a smoothie guy myself, so hard to relate there.
It's wonderful. I love that.
Well, if anybody wants to follow you on social media or follow your acting school, where can they go?
So my main website is christianrodrigo.com. That's my main website. Over there, you'll have access to all the links. But then if they are following me in Instagram, it's Christian Rodrigo Muro, like my two last names. And then I have Facebook. Also, like if you look for me for Christian Rodrigo, so they can follow me there. But the easier way is to go through my website, christianrodrigo.com, and then from there they have access to the other links and that. And again, I'm very happy every time that a Ghost fan reaches out to me. I'm not always able to send messages or like that because sometimes like suddenly you're working a lot and then you receive like 10 messages. Oh, can you send me a message for my cousin? And it's like, okay. And then, I'll try to do as soon as but sometimes and then you have like new messages.
Yeah.
So I always try to at least do the ones that touch me a little bit more, like, oh, this is for my special friend that she's not going through a good time, so can you send this for her? Anything that I think that I can make just a difference and help make that day more special, I feel comfortable. But sometimes if I'm not able to answer everyone, it's just because suddenly it gets crazy. I mean, the first days after I don't know, I had like 4,000 new followers on Instagram like in a few days.
Yeah.
I was like, and I've been always like very reserved with my social media. I mean, I'm not like one of those actors like love to me. So
right.
I know that I have to put things because some production companies say look at that, but if I didn't have to, probably I wouldn't have to. but yeah, every time that I can, I always try to say thank you and answer them.
On behalf of myself and the rest of the fans of our community, Christian, thank you so very much for hanging out with me today. This has been a blast, and I'd love to have you back on again sometime in the future.
I will be more than happy. You're amazing, Richie, by the way. You've been super nice messaging and very trying to make this happen because sometimes schedules can become difficult. And it's been a pleasure for real. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And
I'll behave.
Oh, you know it. Oh, mind my P's and Q's. Trust me. I would never do Father Jim wrong. So
okay. Don't like me a little bit. So thank you so much, Richie. Have a wonderful day to everyone, to everyone, and to all the fans from Ghost. And keep on enjoying this amazing band. They are incredible.
Thanks again, Christian. For past, present, and future episodes of gonstFM Off Air, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating on Spotify, and you can leave comments on individual episodes on Spotify, or you can just leave us a comment on the YouTube channel. Be sure to click the like button if you liked this video, tell a friend, spread the word. We have official gonstFM merchandise in our TeePublic store. You can support the station and the podcast by making a donation to our Venmo. Do you like memes? Do you want to make a meme about Father Jim? Join us in Gonst posting on Facebook. All of this can be found in the show notes below by scrolling and clicking the corresponding links. And so, my dearest Gonslings, this episode comes to a close. Some of you I will see in internet land, and the rest of you I will see in Gonst posting. Take care of yourselves. And remember, until next time, in Gonst, we tronst. I'm Richie, and I'll see you next time.